Clean Water Conversations is sponsored by Chesapeake Conservancy, working to conserve and restore the natural and cultural resources of the Chesapeake Bay watershed for the enjoyment and inspiration of this and future generations. Thank you, Chesapeake Conservancy. And now, on to our show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clean Water Conversations, the podcast where we have casual discussions about creating clean and clear waterways right here in Lancaster County. I'm Kenn.
Hi, everybody. I'm Allyson.
Allyson, it is beginning to look a lot like spring.
It is, yes. And that means all kinds of different sensations, colors, smells, all the things. So I'm curious, thinking of your five senses, what are two of your favorite things that you get to experience in spring?
The first, hands down, is my sense of smell.
Okay.
Which is really ironic because we're here in Lancaster County. I am talking about the smell of the
specific smell.
The grass coming up, the flowers that are blooming. Yes,
that one.
That absolutely love that. And the second one would probably be my sense of sight.
Because
we have I'm not sure what kind of tree it is, growing right outside our building here, and it blooms beautiful pink. And that's a great example of some of the colors that pop in the spring. I absolutely love that.
Very true, very true.
How about you?
Well, it changes. So it could be any of the five, I suppose, but the changes, like the seasons, I don't like a lot of the smells that come out in the spring. But yes, it's nice to see some pinks and greens and colors there. But I think it's also because the greens and pinks and purples and blues means that the vegetation is coming up from the implementation projects. So we've put so much money and so much time into all these projects that are going to result in clean water. But a lot of that is because there are plants and they have a root system and they hold back that sediment. So it means that the projects are in the ground. The plants are coming up to help that project succeed.
That sounds like a really nice segue into the list of awesomeness.
That's right.
Well, what is on your list of awesomeness this time?
Oh, so many things. So I'm going to start off with the Lancaster Watershed Leadership Academy. We are in the thick of it with our 2025 class, which is definitely an awesome class. So we have had 2 in-person, 2 virtual, and lots more coming. I would also say my list of awesomeness includes the Common Agenda revision process. So that is a document, like it's a tool for everybody to use to get us closer to clean and clear by 2040. But we need more voices. We need new thoughts. We are really, really grateful and working really hard towards that one common goal. But the details of how we get there, it's a new chapter. So looking forward to the new voices really filling that in. And Kenn, so much in your world is awesome. Tell us some details. What's on your list?
Well, the very first thing on my list of awesomeness is we have the Countywide Action Plan, which shows us, kind of guides us how to get to clean and clear by 2040.
Right.
So the Countywide Action Plan, or CAP, not going to catch me on an acronym, has a CAP coordinator team that is guiding the CAP. And so I am in the process of making a video kind of, I don't want to say bragging on our CAP coordinator team because they do awesome work. So it is a lot of fun to put that together and just and show the awesomeness that is our CAP coordinator team.
Yeah. Well, there you go. See, you do the podcast. There's our sense of hearing. The video is going to be our sense of sight. I'm going to keep coming back to this 5 senses thing.
I don't think anybody's invented smell-o-vision yet, so we might have to wait for that a little bit.
Well, like you said, just living in Lancaster, there is the smell. Anything else on your list of awesomeness?
Well, I am also helping to put information on our website and on some material for the 2025 Clean Water Fund. The small grant is about to be open.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for information about that.
Yeah, shout out to the Lancaster County Community Foundation for hosting that.
Yes.
And our amazing volunteer reviewers and the grantees. It is a really cool way to build your awesomeness of the projects you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of awesome, We have a great guest today.
Yes, we do.
Emily Landis is the Director of Education and Environmental Strategy at Little Conestoga Creek Foundation, which is through the Steinman Foundation. And she is kind of the point person for the Blue-Green Connector Project.
Yes. And we will learn more about why you call it the Connector Project.
Mm-hmm. Let's hit it.
The Conservancy does something special where in February, they do very intensive training. So, you don't want to be out. You really can't be doing any volunteering. And we did sessions on natural history, leading a hike and being a hike sweep, how to make sure everyone was safe, leave no trace principles, had a table at the preserve. So we're getting geared up for Shanks Ferry Wildflower Preserve, the peak season. So, I think it's been really nice to connect with them and just do more hiking, but also have it be part of that community.
Let's take a step back. Let's get to know a little bit more about you, Emily, and our icebreaker. Your question is, describe what life without your smartphone or other technology that you might use would be for 24 hours.
Ooh. Oh, great question. Yeah, I think, part of me would love being free, from addictive technology, obviously. But, I would miss two things. One is my Seek app, because I'm always out walking and identifying plants. I'm like, what is that? I got to add it to my observations. I'm definitely addicted. And, I'm also, I wouldn't say I'm bad at directions, but if I didn't have my GPS, I think I'd default to, going online and printing out directions from MapQuest.
Yes. Can you tell us what you do at the Steinman Foundation?
I definitely can, Allyson. So I am the Director of Education and Environmental Strategy. And what that means is, I'm primarily working on this big Blue-Green Connector project. And it is an environmental restoration project. It is a trail system, and it also is a learning lab. And so the part that I'm spearheading is the learning lab component. And so I'm working on a master plan to make sure that learning will definitely happen on the Blue-Green Connector.
Got it. Okay. That puts it in context. And I think we're going to come back to many of those pieces.
We definitely are. Yeah. Let's back up though. First off, where did you grow up?
I did grow up in Lancaster. Mm-hmm. So started in the city and then moved a little ways outside the city near Columbia Avenue. And I graduated from Penn Manor. Go Comets.
And what in your childhood kind of led you to where you are now?
Oh, well, I was definitely a feral child. I will say that. So my parents let me go down the street. And I was lucky enough we backed up to the Little Conestoga Creek.
No way.
Yes. So now my work today is working on restoring the Little Conestoga Creek. And I spent days just playing, looking for crayfish, building forts. And so that was formative for me, just being around outside. Eventually really got into being a Girl Scout. Mm-hmm. Went to a lot of sleepaway camp during the summer. Remember going up to Acadia National Park and being blown away and just being like, I love being out on trails and in nature. Mm-hmm. And my parents also walked me over to the North Museum a lot when I was a young girl.
Yeah.
And so I was obsessed with collecting rocks and looking for fossils. I remember they had this room that all the rocks would glow. I think it must have been under a black light, but it blew my mind. So, I think that's when I decided that I was going to become a biologist. And I also ended up being an archaeologist. I majored in biology and anthropology in college. And I think it was because of those experiences.
Wow.
All anchored in the Little Conestoga.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Parents,
really cool.
You shape where your kids' minds and hearts go. So
true.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I had a similar experience with the William Penn Museum in Harrisburg. It's just like captured my imagination. That's why I'm a history nut now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, you get that spark, and who knows where you'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. You spent time at the National Geographic, and then recently you're the executive director of the Science Factory, so it all comes full circle.
I was very directory there. Yeah, you're right.
So what was that experience like?
It was awesome. It was a wonderful adventure that I had there over 10 years. And I continue to be inspired by their mission, which is to inspire confidence and creativity and curiosity in kids, well, primarily K through 8th grade, but really I think it's limitless in terms of who it's for. Yeah. And so we focused, as part of our mission as being a place that was for everyone. It was an inclusive space that anyone could come into and hopefully find that spark that interested them in STEM. So, a lot of
STEM.
Oh, STEM.
Yeah.
Science, technology, engineering, math, sometimes with an A, arts.
There you go. Now you can use it as much as you want.
All right. STEM is on the table.
Yes.
So yeah. STEM comes in lots of different flavors. So yeah.
and well used at the Science Factory.
Well used at the Science Factory. Yeah. So yeah, we definitely tried to create an environment that sparked joy and created a sense of awe and wonder and really engaged kids that, maybe they were coming. I heard a lot of people that had maybe one bad experience with math. And they'd come and they say, Science Factory, I don't know if this is for me. And, we would say that we succeeded when you saw them come in, their eyes light up. Yeah. They just immediately start running around, checking out the things that appeal to them. Sometimes we'd be closing at 5:00. I'd be pulling down the gate. Like, you can come back tomorrow. People really didn't want to leave. No. So, if you can really turn it around for each individual as they come in and create an identity shift where they realize that, hey, I'm really good at science. Science is kind of like the most fun subject. And this is really for me. We're like, all right, we can go home. We did it.
You guys started to do that more with Water Week, too. I remember hearing about people painting with water on the sidewalk, or it was something that would show up when it rains.
Oh, cool. Yeah. There's a product that you can use to paint on concrete, and you can use like a template, and it only shows up when it rains. So yeah, anyone can do it.
It's really cool, Ken.
That is cool.
You can get as artistic as you want with it, Ken.
Wow.
And it brings the learning outside, but it's still connected in an urban environment. It was such a great literal connector for Water Week events. So yeah, tell us more about how the Science Factory started to connect with, but like take a leadership role within Lancaster Water Week.
Oh yeah, we love Water Week. Been doing it for so long, and it's been awesome to see it grow every year. I think early on we started right off the bat with doing a whole variety of different Water Week themed workshops for kids in grades K through 8 to make sure that they had an outlet for learning about clean water and building healthy ecosystems. And we always had a Water Week kickoff on First Friday. So I have a really fond memory of Brian Gish from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. He would always come out and do the rainfall simulator and get the kids wet, which is a ton of fun with Brian telling all of his jokes. I was laughing, and I was at the Science Cafe, and we were painting rain barrels. So PCAD would do designs, water themed designs, and the kids would help fill them in. And I looked around, and PCAD was there. We were doing art.
What is PCAD?
Sorry.
Oh, PCAD. Well, Pennsylvania College of Art and Design.
There you go.
Shout out to PCAD. Their Center for Creative Exploration does so much great art in the community. So that particular Water Week, they were making macro invertebrate buddies. So they were like
buddies,
like 3D stuffed macro invertebrates that the kids drew and made. And they were carrying them around underneath their arms.
Yes.
And we were in the makerspace. We 3D printed macro invertebrates. Stroudwater Research Center has those macro invertebrates that you can print. Mm-hmm. So I just was looking around at the science chaos happening at the Science Factory and had to laugh that everyone was carrying around a little macro invertebrate buddies, little aquatic bug.
You know you've succeeded when. That's so fun.
You were at the Science Factory when COVID hit. what lessons did you learn in ways that you had to amend your lessons and
lead them through that kind of transition period or unknowns? And we're experiencing some things like that right now with federal funding freezes. So I think I'm really curious about what you experienced during COVID, and is there anything that transfers to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, COVID was such a wild and scary time. I still remember going in and unplugging all the exhibits and shutting down the facility and not knowing when we would be able to reopen.
Right.
And it was existential too, because, we're in the business of hands-on science, you got to be there, you got to do it. It's experiential learning. Lots of high-touch surfaces in that facility.
Right.
Lots of things you could touch and push and pull. So I think when our team got back together, it was all about how we could carry forth our mission in a way that was authentic to us and how we operated. And really what we got good at doing was pivoting. We became professional dancers. It was just pivot. So many great ideas came out, and we just got good at saying, let's try that. We need to do something different. And I just remember a whole variety of initiatives coming out of that. And as we emerged, too, we were a tighter and more effective team because we had gone through this crucible where we just had to try a lot of different strategies and see what fit. And it was also a changing landscape, so things changed month to month, and we had to respond and just be super nimble. Yeah. So shout out to the Science Factory team, creative geniuses, all of that. The other lesson learned too kind of came from a funder's perspective. I remember we were in the middle of our Elevate Curiosity capital campaign, right in the middle, and we had already done major construction and doubled our square footage in the interior. So we made major progress, but we still needed to do the environmental sustainability themed outdoor courtyard, and that awesome sky bridge was yet to come. Yeah. So we were just in the thick of things, and obviously there was no construction happening. So, what to do? We had a lot of funders who had committed pledges over the course of 3 to 5 years. And so we went to them and said, listen, we need to take a pause, but would you consider having your pledge go towards our annual operating to help us get through this? So we had a resiliency fund, and people really, really stepped up. They said, you're doing great work, and we know you're going to continue this campaign in style and finish out when it's possible. And so the resiliency fund really helped us get through. And gosh, I feel so grateful that there were so many people that believed in the work that we were doing and knew that it was going to continue and become bigger and better when we came out of the COVID crunch.
Well, thank you for all that you did and the leadership that you provided for your team, but for Lancaster as well. I know those anchors of locations where people can feel safe and included are essential parts of the community. So COVID and many others, thank you.
Yes.
How did all of that experience transition into your work for Steinman Foundation?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. I mentioned our outdoor courtyard with environmental sustainability theme. We hit all these topics in our exhibits at the Science Factory. And we had to create a new icon for environmental sustainability once we started adding exhibits outside. Solar-powered flower. We were collecting water from the roof, and you could recycle it with a cistern. We had a rain garden and a pollinator garden, and there was a lot going on out there. And I think it kind of took over. We realized this is a really important topic. We felt a sense of urgency, and we started designing new spaces inside. And we thought, well, we're just going to continue this environmental sustainability theme. There's a lot we can do here. Okay. So we built that momentum, and as I transitioned, I kind of see this blue-green connector project as being one big science factory spun out along a 3.5-mile trail.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunity for creative placemaking. This trail will be fully ADA accessible, so 12 feet wide.
It's Americans with Disabilities Act.
So 3.5-mile trail, fully ADA accessible, all the things that you can do alongside exhibits, demonstration areas, obviously interpretive signage, artwork. all sorts of things that create a space for learning that are creative and they're outdoors. So, I see it as a natural progression of that work from the Science Factory.
Nice. Now, you called it a three-headed monster. I assume you mean the different phases?
Yeah, the three, I guess I would say the pillars of the project.
Okay.
The restoration, the trail, and the learning lab components.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now, what phase is it currently in?
Oh, I would say we're kind of right in the middle, honestly.
Yeah.
So just to give you a little context, I think that this project started maybe back in 2019, and originally it involved the sale of the Conestoga house that was in the Steinman family for many, many years. And they were aware that the Little Conestoga Creek that runs just next to the Conestoga house there on Marietta Avenue was impaired, and looked into taking the proceeds from the Conestoga house sale and putting it towards that restoration. And so it then kind of took on a life of its own, because they said, well, could we also restore on the other side of Marietta Avenue and then a little bit further up? And so they used the proceeds of the sale to create the Little Conestoga Creek Foundation. And this restoration proceeded. But then it became, well, could we also add a trail? And the public could access the Little Conestoga Creek, because it's kind of hidden back there, but it's a beautiful environment. And let's add this ADA trail so that everyone can appreciate it, especially since we're restoring it and we're creating this connector. And then, to their credit, they thought, this is also a golden learning opportunity. So how can we make sure that as people are enjoying the trail, they really see what's happened from a restoration standpoint, be inspired by actions that they could take, and really just with this goal of catalyzing further restoration and action around the waterways in Lancaster County, just layer in these educational opportunities. So yeah, I'm kind of part of that third wave, the educational component, and I think it's the most fun stuff.
I can definitely see your passion and your excitement about this project when you talk about it and how it is going to be integrated into the community. Can you tell us some of your favorite little nuggets about maybe it's a part on the trail, or why this is the right timing for this kind of education or this kind of piece within Lancaster?
Yeah, there's lots of little parts. I have a whole map, and there's cool exhibits sprinkled along the entire trail. I'm thinking of the Knoll Doorwort trailhead that will be under construction this year, 2025 into 2026. That might be a good place to start. We are looking to redo the trailhead right now. There's a lot of grass, and it's a really well-loved park. People go and take their dogs. There's the dog park. And what we're going to do in partnership with the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay is to do some reforestation, so adding a lot of native trees and shrubs. And we are going to add a wildflower meadow, and there will be...
Ooh, I love a good meadow.
You do love a good meadow.
Sorry.
Yeah, gotta love a good meadow, right? So there will be a pavilion there, and there will also be a labyrinth there that we have designed.
The kind you can walk on?
The kind you can walk on.
Ooh, okay.
A bit of wellness in nature component. But we have a green footprint path planned. So there'll be 7 stops where you can stop and appreciate each of the different healthy ecosystems that have been restored there, including the wetlands, where it's great for bird watching. There's a lot of red-winged blackbirds out there, ton of biodiversity. If you go with your Merlin app, you can listen to all the birds coming through. And then you can learn about green infrastructure. And really the whole purpose is to inspire people to get ideas for how they can clean water and restore habitat at home.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
How much of your, I'll say, official museum training for structure and syllabi, and how much of that you feel like is an anchor for your work, or how much of this is creative flow along the way?
Ooh, that's a great question. When you think about exhibits, I think a lot of my work is grounded in what makes a good exhibit.
Okay.
So it has to be awesome. It has to give you that whoa. It has to be educational. There's a takeaway. And then, it has to be practical and functional and, durable outdoors, for instance.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, this built environment thinking I got a chance to learn a lot about. And so another thing at the Knoll Dorwart trailhead is we will have a kiosk dedicated to wayfinding and trail user essentials, but more importantly, clean water. So having a 3D topo map of our watershed so that people could figure out where they're at, understand how our watershed works and where the Little Conestoga Creek fits in, and then some actions they could take to help clean water in Lancaster. At the trailhead, that will be front and center. So it's not just a little kiosk, but it'll be something that you can pass through and have an interactive moment with that 3D topo map. Hey. So that's just an example of the kind of exhibit background that I'm applying on the trail.
So fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And you said that's 25, 26, that project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting ready for it.
All right. I'm already thinking of where can our next live stream be so we can be doing topographic things at the same time.
Now, Emily, you are on the panel of the Trailblazers Unlocking the Potential of Outdoor Recreation seminar in September. It was hosted by Hourglass, which was really, really cool. How did you become involved in that project?
Well, Diana Martin called me up and said, hey, there's a lot going on with outdoor recreation in Lancaster County. You want to share more about what you're working on? And, there's definitely momentum. I'm thinking about how transformative some of the trail projects around Lancaster have been. Certainly Northwest River Trail. It's been amazing to see the positive impacts, and so many businesses sprouting up in Columbia and elsewhere. I'm thinking the Enola Low Grade Trail, just continuing to make connections. What a fun destination.
Yeah.
The Conservancy has been adding a ton of universally accessible trails. They have 3 open now and more planned. So we're just seeing a lot of momentum around trail building, the outdoor recreation economy, and how people can plug in and all the many benefits to quality of life and recreation and transportation that Lancaster stands to benefit from. So we're going places.
That is such a neat program, and just the idea of making Lancaster the hub of outdoor activities. We have so much here to work with.
Why do you think that Lancaster is the place that this is happening? Like the Blue-Green Corridor or Connector Project, why is it in Lancaster? I mean, obviously the Steinman family connection, and thank you for that history of the Conestoga house. I hadn't put those pieces together. But the fact that it's 3.5 miles, the scale of it, why do you think that's Lancaster is the place where that's happening?
Well, it's interesting. It connects a lot of things that maybe are kind of constrained by development, and it creates that greenway space along the stream. I think there's a big trend towards looking more closely and embracing our waterways in Lancaster County and not wanting them to be hidden, wanting to get closer to them and have them be accessible to everyone. I think the Blue-Green Connector, honestly, is just so practical. Like, why is it happening there? Once you start to see where you can go on the trail, you're like, oh gosh, this will be like really helpful that you could just buzz right up to Penn Medicine, Lancaster General Health Campus. Maybe you have an appointment, or maybe you work at Park City and you want to take a mental health break and, just explore and hop on your bike and go.
Sure.
There's so many apartments and residential areas. There's Woodcrest Villa, so there's retirement communities. It's really kind of a way to connect all these different destinations and people together. So I think there's a need, Lancaster's very popular. There's people moving in. It's becoming more densely populated. So it is well loved, and having this sort of practical way. The traffic's not getting any better anytime soon, Kenn.
That's true.
If you can walk or bike there, won't that be great?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenn, you've talked about that outdoor economy event with just rave reviews.
Yes.
So I feel like that you're describing more of that example, I suppose, of the connector piece and how we are connected by water, but we can't always walk through the creeks, and not everybody feels like they have access to that. So I guess I'm trying to make sure I'm reflecting back what I'm hearing correctly and the potential of something like the Blue-Green Connector Project.
Yeah, I think I was surprised to hear from community members how much they want a green space where they can find quiet, maybe go to meditate really a focus on well-being, maybe just a place to get away from the sights and sounds of traffic. And so you could think of it as a major quality of life indicator if you know that you're within, let's say, 5 minutes of a place like that.
Sure. I was on a call recently and people were asked what was their favorite place to go outside or favorite park maybe. And every single person said the one that was closest to them. And because it was easy to access or because it was where they could take their kids and feel safe. And so, I appreciate what you're saying and to know that you all are hearing that over and over again and the kind of service that this can provide back to Lancaster, lots of parts of Lancaster's community. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And this is where it's starting. So I mentioned that it's 3.45 miles of ADA accessible trail. But that's not to say that it can't continue, on either end in the future. The intent is to catalyze more restoration, more trails. So we'll see where it goes. You got to start somewhere. So
yeah. So Emily, your role with the Little Conestoga Project, which has had multiple names at multiple phases, and there's multiple people and organizations involved. Can you tell us a little bit more about this collaborative approach? Because this project is an essential part of Lancaster's work to get towards clean and clear by 2040. But tell me more about what this one looks like for you guys.
Oh, yeah, sure. It takes a village. I think this project really exemplifies that collaborative approach that, it's going to take to get clean and clear by 2040. And guess who's involved? More than 40 landowners have given permission, have been part of this.
That's huge.
Wow.
That's huge. 4 different municipalities working in partnership to make this possible, as well as Laxwama and the Lancaster Area Sewer Authority.
Sorry. Go ahead. What is Laxwama?
Lancaster
County.
Lancaster County Solid Waste Management Authority.
Yeah. Together we worked it all out.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Laxwama. So, a lot of people have supported this project and made it possible. And all that collaboration is absolutely needed. So this idea of creating a corridor, too, I think is quite cool. So we have all these little bits of fragmented habitat and we are linking them through this greenway space of restored trail access as well.
Kenn, your marketing brain must be going a mile a minute.
I'm pulling out a visual aid.
Yes.
Yeah. People at home can't see, but I have our new logo, which will soon be on our newly relaunched website. But, we've been calling it the Little Conestoga Blue-Green Corridor Project for quite some time, which is a mouthful. Our current website is LCCBGC. And we got together and thought, the heart and soul of this project is really connection. And so Corridor became Connector. Okay. So the project is now the Blue-Green Connector.
All right.
Nice.
And, you could call it the Connector for short.
And I did not buzz that acronym because she already said it. So just, yeah.
She's living that acronym.
Yeah, that's true.
So what you can't see is our lovely logo featuring our spokes frog. We've been working hard on this. Really love the way. So we wanted a focal point in the logo, and we chose this amphibian, this frog, because an amphibian connects land and water. It is an indicator species of clean, healthy water. And it's also frankly just cute, and we need a name for it. But this spokes frog really shines, and I think that you could just hop on down the connector with.
Oh, there it is!
I love it. I love it.
Is there going to be a mascot involved?
Ooh, I think there should definitely be a climbable frog sculpture someplace.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Just putting that A in the stem.
Nice. And once you guys officially release that logo, I will put it in the episode notes. So.
Oh, most excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could share a preview.
We always talk about the list of awesomeness.
Yes.
What
is on your list of awesome? What's awesome in your world right now?
What's awesome in my world?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with nerd alert, lifelong learning. So I am very proud to be participating in the Habitat Advocate program.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm about halfway done, so I want to be a graduate and an official Habitat Advocate this year. And then I also just joined the Penn State Master Watershed Steward program.
Ooh,
So
you're coming at it from all angles.
I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot for water. So learning a lot, and being part of these volunteer communities, I think is exciting. That's what's awesome to me right now.
That's cool. That's cool.
Those networks are huge, and there's so many people. I mean, that they themselves are awesome.
Yeah,
but then the ways that you connect with others.
Yeah, there's an energy with these groups too. It really inspires me.
So good, so good. Kenn, we're fortunate, some of the scholars in this year's Watershed Leadership Academy have been through those programs or are maybe part of your class right now. So always good to meet more.
I love the networks that connect with other networks that connect with other networks. That's really cool.
Yeah, you can always say, oh, I know someone.
Yes, exactly right.
Do you need a rain garden planned someplace? Yeah, I know a few people who can help you out.
I know a guy.
That was Allyson yesterday.
It was me dropping kids off at sports things, being like, look, it's a sign for Emily. It's a rain garden. I'm sending her pictures.
Oh, yeah. Text that on.
Front yard of Manheim Township School.
Nice. So now we have come to my favorite time of the show, and that is trivia time.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So you are a Renaissance woman, interested in all kinds of things. Science, history, hiking, photography, adventuring. You've visited 47 countries and 42 states. I'm more than a little jealous, by the way. So the first question in the category of travel, what is the tallest building in the world currently, and where is it located?
Ooh, that's got to be in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. What is it? The something Khalifa?
Wow,
I'm going to give it to Burj Khalifa. Yeah, nice job.
Have you been there?
I haven't. Ooh, not yet.
Not yet. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Also in the category of travel, which iconic structure is found in India that is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world?
Oh, the Taj Mahal.
It is the Taj Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very good. This is hiking and history.
Yes.
During the Second World War, all hiking signposts in what European country were taken down to avoid revealing valuable route information to potential invaders? What country would they have done that in?
Oh, would that be England?
So close. It was Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yes. Under travel, what do they call Belgian waffles in Belgium?
Ooh, I should know that. I ate one. Belgian waffle. Stroop waffle?
No, they call them Brussels waffles.
Brussels waffle.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Does that ring a bell? You heard that?
I ate a waffle in Brussels and it was delicious. That's all I
There you
remember right now.
And I don't know if they have a different name for Brussels sprouts.
I was going to say I had Brussels sprouts for dinner last night, and a waffle would have been much better. But
Note to self. There you go. Under the category of photography, the word photography comes from the Greek word photos and graphe, which literally means what?
Ooh, photos. I mean, that has to mean light.
It does.
Graphe, writing?
You know what? It is so close, I'm going to give it to you. It's drawing with light.
Drawing with light.
Yeah.
Light. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Under travel, which 4 presidents are on Mount Rushmore?
Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, so we've got Washington.
We do.
And we've got Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Teddy Roosevelt's up there, right?
Yes, he sure is.
And, it's probably...
what would TJ do?
Oh.
Nice.
Thomas Jefferson. Thank you.
It is, in fact, Thomas Jefferson. Nice job. Under history, what is considered the largest empire in history?
Let's go Roman.
That's where I would have gone too.
Aw.
It's actually the Mongol Empire.
Should have known.
Yeah. Under photography, FPS is the rate at which pictures can be taken. What does FPS stand for?
Frames per second. Yes! I
Very
got there.
good.
It took me forever, but I got there.
Under hiking, I don't expect you to know this, but I wanted to name drop. Hawk Rock is a lookout point along the Appalachian Trail in this Perry County town, which also happens to be where I grew up.
Ooh, Hawk Rock. I know Hawk Mountain, which is an awesome place to go to see raptors.
Different place, yeah.
Different place.
Yep.
No, tell me more about Hawk Rock.
It was right off the town of Duncannon, which is very much known for taking in and catering to the hikers on the Appalachian Trail.
Nice.
Under travel, in which country would you find the Trans-Siberian Railway?
Russia.
It is Russia, yes. And just because I'm curious, in which country would you find the Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Are they, I want to say they're European.
No, they're actually American. And they would be in America right now because they're not on tour in March.
They're legends. I mean, I think we can all agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's it. That's our trivia. That's our show. Thank you so much, Emily, for coming in and telling us about, especially the Blue-Green Connector project. I almost said the wrong one. That's awesome what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
That's really cool.
I had a blast, and I should let you know the Blue-Green Connector will be completed in phases, and we're hopeful that it will be wrapping up in 2028.
Nice.
Hope Emily. To see you on the trail.
Yeah, thanks for all the leadership that you provided and what you're bringing to Lancaster as a community. It is pretty amazing. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
That is our show, and we will be back in just a couple of weeks. Until then, take care.
Bye, everybody.
This episode of Clean Water Conversations is sponsored by Chesapeake Conservancy. Conserve, restore, and empower with data. And produced by Lancaster Clean Water Partners, striving for clean and clear waterways by 2040. If you have comments or suggestions for show topics or are interested in becoming a sponsor, please contact us at info@lancastercleanwaterpartners.com. Thanks for listening.